Hey there, ghostly guys and gals, and welcome to part 8 of the story of my life. So, in the last part, we talked about my first relationship with my ex girlfriend, Alina, and we also talked about my first experiences with jobs and such. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. My sister was telling me like something about that video, and I would just like to reiterate something. Okay, so I know I'm very, very overprivileged, and I'm aware of that. I'm self aware, okay? I understand that I've had a lot of things in my life that a lot of people haven't had. Like I talked about the money that I got from, the social security and the car and all that. And the scholarship I got to UNO. And yeah, so I want to acknowledge that yes, I had those things in my life, and it's one of the reasons I hate myself because I'm guilty because a lot of people, or I feel guilty because a lot of other people are like, they have less than me and they do more in their lives, even if like, they just are happier, or they're better people, or on the other hand, like I also feel just terrible because as you'll see in this video and in future videos, a lot of these things that I had, I kind of squandered them or wasted them and all these things. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people could have done a lot more with what I was given, but not me. I messed everything up. So yeah, I just want to acknowledge that real quick. So anyway, yeah, we talked about my first experiences with work and my relationship, my first relationship. And when we left off, I was just about to talk about my college experience. So it was the pandemic, right? It was still the pandemic. It was 2020. Everything was still going strong with that, and like so they had online classes at UNO, the college I was going to, and I was at first thinking like, oh, that it kind of sucks that I won't be able to go in person for college, but I did online classes at my high school and I can do this just fine. But what I didn't anticipate was that, like, so if you remember, I said that in my video about I think maybe in the last video, I was talking about how I went to high school and during the pandemic, and when we did it, my high school did a really great transition, and we didn't use Zoom. We used like this, our portal. It was called Canvas, and there was like an online section, like it was a thing that you could do for online classes there. So that's what we were using, and that was easy. Okay, it was really super easy. It was very like intuitive, user friendly, that sort of thing. And like I don't know about you guys, but I've had a lot of struggles with Zoom, and that began in college. So I had never used Zoom to that point once I started college. And I just I was excited for college and stuff, and I remember I was like, my first class was my Japanese class. I was like, oh yeah, I can't wait. And I got on, but I was just having all these difficulties with it. It was either like I couldn't hear the professor, and then like she wanted us to, like when she called our names, she wanted us to like respond and say we were here in the thing, and I couldn't get the mic or whatever to work, so that was a problem, and I was just having a lot of trouble like figuring out how to use Zoom. It felt like it was really not user friendly, unlike the other online thing we were using for my high school. So I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I don't know what would have happened if they had Zoom when I was in high school, because as you'll see, this was a very, very big problem for me in college. So, like I didn't know what to do. Like I reached out to my professors and my academic advisor. I was just kind of like, what do I do about this? And I was like, you need to just do the Zoom stuff. There's nothing we can really do to help you. I mean, you have to you know, like get like the stuff done or whatever via Zoom. And like it wouldn't be so bad per se, but like I said, sometimes I just couldn't even hear the professors, so that was a problem. And other times, they would want me to say stuff and I couldn't. So then, yeah, so I could hear things sometimes, and I couldn't say anything. And yeah, so basically, like, um, I kind of started to freak out. I was like, like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. And I tried looking things up on the internet and stuff, but I just like, look, I don't know. I don't know how I was so stupid and so anxiety filled about this, but for whatever reason I was just frozen up and I couldn't figure it out. And basically what happened, long story short, is like my mom and all of my family would ask me, "Oh yeah, how's school going?" I'd just be like, "Good." Yeah. And I'd pretend to be in classes and stuff, but then, I was really just doing nothing because I couldn't figure out the Zoom stuff. And I was like, I didn't know what I was doing, and I was just kind of like, I just froze up. Like I don't look. I don't know how to describe it. I know that it sounds like I'm an idiot, and I wouldn't blame you for saying that. I think that myself, but I don't know. I just froze up. I was filled with anxiety about it. Like I just didn't know how to figure it out. I didn't. I don't know how to describe what happened. That's mental illness for you. It's insanity, literally. Like it makes no sense. Okay, so I'm sorry if like you you think that it's stupid or whatever, because I mean, well, you're right, because it is stupid. But in any case, like I said, basically I didn't do anything for like the first 3 weeks of college, and then like I was failing everything, and I was like, it was basically impossible to recover. And I was kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna have to tell my mom about this. And I think I told my sister probably first, because I'm closer to my sister, and at this time anyway, I had a very bad relationship with my mom because of what happened back in junior year, where she kind of like drove me over the edge to want to kill myself and all that. So I was, at the time, I was still in like a very frayed relationship with my mom. And I mean, even now my relationship with her is better, but I would still say that my relationship with my sister is closer. So I told my sister first. She was like, "Oh my gosh, like, what do like, you need to try to fix this or something. You got to talk to your professors." And I was just like, I think it's too late for that. And I remember we told my mom, like, we went out to like lunch or something, and we told my mom at an Olive Garden about it. And she was very, very, very upset. She was crying, and it was very uncomfortable. Uh, yeah. So basically, like I said, long story short, there was not much we could do. I was like failing everything, and I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna withdraw from school, and I'm gonna go get a job. Uh, so yeah, like I said, in the last video, it went basically about as bad as you could think it would go. I mean, I guess it could have been worse, maybe, if I would have just, I don't know, somehow like gone to school on campus and then contracted some terrible disease there, or died, or I don't know, something. Basically, this was the worst case scenario to happen. And all that hope I had, all that optimism and positivity that I got way back when, like, almost a year prior, when I went to the hospital, it was just completely destroyed. My dreams were crushed. You know, I I just was like, I'm not gonna do this college stuff again. I mean, this is stupid. I failed. I'm not gonna do this again. I'm just gonna go and get a job. I mean, I was very depressed about it and stuff. And you know, I it was like, I don't know why I didn't lose like a complete hope. I mean, I wasn't. I don't remember how suicidal I was back then, but I remember I was like, nah, I'll just try to get a job or something. So yeah, I was looking for jobs and stuff after I dropped out. I applied to a bunch of different places, like both here, around in the area. And I also was just like, I was like, okay, since I'm just gonna not go to college, I might as well just try to move out of my parents' house too. So I was also like going on Indeed and stuff and looking for like jobs all over the country. Basically, I was applying to places in like basically every state. But for multiple reasons. One, it was just because like I said, I thought it would be like maybe cool to just move out and go someplace new. And two, um, like I just wanted to maximize my chances of getting a job. So I was like, if I applied to someplace in every fifth, like all states, then maybe like one of them is gonna have to say yes to me eventually. So yeah, but it turns out that employers aren't really looking to hire people who are like 1,500 miles away. So yeah, um, the closest I got was like one time I almost got hired at some sort of like resort or hotel or something in Wyoming. It would have been a cool job. Like they actually gave you their employees room and board because that area was super expensive to live in. But anyway, so yeah, I applied there. I got an interview and all that, and it actually looked like I might have gotten the job. And then they were just like, "Yeah, we were looking for somebody more local." And then I was just like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, that happened, and I kind of was just unemployed for like a month, I think. I don't know. Yeah, well, I was searching for jobs. It wasn't like I was just doing nothing. I also thought about like going to phlebotomy school and stuff, but I don't know. I can't remember, but I was weird about it. I didn't want to go. Like I was looking for these specific programs that were like as short as possible. So like the ones in the area I think were like they took longer, and I wanted to go to like some phlebotomy program in Ohio or like Oklahoma or something. And my mom was like, "I'm not letting you do that." So yeah, and at the time, I was kind of like angry about that. But looking at back on it now, it's like, what was I even thinking? I don't even remember what was going through my head. But in any case, I ended up getting a job at Party City sometime around October for like the Halloween season. And I was a costume attendant, and yeah, basically that was kind of my job. Um, I helped people with like the Halloween costumes. They would come up to like this wall of costumes, and they would be like, "I want this costume," and then I'd be like, "Okay," and I would go to like this back room, and then there would be like a bunch of different costumes on the wall and stuff, and I would take the costume, I'd give it to them, and then they would go to the front desk to check out. It was an easy job. I didn't mind it too much. It was not so bad. I had to deal with people all the time that was awful, and there was there were some crazy things that happened there, but it was not so bad, I guess. Um, and I kind of got laid off slash fired from that job. Like, so what happened was Halloween was over eventually, and then a hurricane came, and I was like stuck at my grandma's house. As my house had like lost electricity, but hers didn't. I think it was Hurricane Zeta, by the way, for anybody who's curious. But anyway, so yeah, Hurricane Zeta I think came and like wrecked my house, and I had to go to my grandma's house for a bit. And I think they wanted me to go in or something, but then I just was like, "Oh, I can't because of this, stuff with the hurricane." And then like I was like, "Okay, so when can I come in?" And they just like never responded to me again. They didn't even say like, "Hey, ghost, you're fired," or like, "We're letting you go," or anything. I was just like, I just never heard from them again. They just ghosted me. They ghosted the ghost. Like what the hell? What the hell's up with that? But anyway, um, so yeah, and then I was just like, okay, well, what do I do now? And basically, I was just like, you know what? I mean, I might have thought this like when I still was at the Party City job, or like maybe after. At some point, though, I was just like, this getting a job thing is not working out. I should just go back to school. So what I decided to do was I decided I'm gonna apply to like two colleges two new colleges I didn't apply to before, and I'm also just gonna like I guess reapply to UNO. Um, but it turns out that like I dropped out and stuff, but it was like I was still enrolled, sort of like I was still a student there, like I was in the system or something like that. So it was like I was kind of like I just all if I wanted to go back, all I had to do was just kind of like be like, hey, I want to be a student again, and it was just like okay, I just sign up and enroll or whatever. Yeah. So I applied to I think I applied to Hope College, which is a private university up in Holland, Michigan. It looked like a really nice place to go, and it had a Japanese degree, and they had like a full scholarship opportunity that I thought maybe I could get. And I also applied to the University of Hawaii Hilo, and the reason I did Hilo instead of Manoa this time was because Hilo was cheaper. So I was like, maybe I can like apply to UH Hilo, and I'll get more money, and I'll be able to go. And I got accepted to both of those schools, but then I didn't get the full scholarship from Hope College, and then UH Hilo they just gave me like not enough money still, so I was just like, I'll just go back to UNO, I guess, um, so I did, and um, I'll talk about that in the next video, I think. I'm trying to think if I've got time for talking about other stuff. Um, no, I don't think I've got time because there was like all these during all this time when I was talking about the jobs and like dropping out and such. Um, there was like relationship stuff going on too. So, um, yeah, and but anyway, basically the in regards to like schoolwork and job, career, school, that sort of thing, basically what ended up happening was by December, it was like basically, okay, I'm going to go back to UNO in January and yeah, for the spring semester. So I just, I went to UNO, I failed epically, and then I dropped out, and then I was like, I'm not going to go back to college. And then, next semester, literally, I was like, okay, I'm going back to college. So yeah. Um, anyway, I'll talk more about that maybe in the next video or the following one. Next video, I think I'll be talking about like the relationship stuff that was going on at the time. So, I'll see you guys all in the next video. I hope you all like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.